So let's bring in our political panel. We have Democratic strategist and former Obama campaign director Robin Biro and president and executive director of the Daily Signal, Robert Bluey. Gentlemen, good morning. Good to have you on Morning on Merit today.
Good morning.
Good morning. Okay, Robert, we're going to start with you first. Biden flat out admitted that his Democratic colleagues did pressure him into dropping out of the race. Your reaction to this new official statement, did he say the private part out loud or simply admit to something that was really being made apparent from the get-go?
Absolutely right that it was being made apparent because you and I read the same news articles at the time, and it was quite clear that Democratic leaders were interested in Biden stepping aside simply because he was a drag on other candidates in the party. Now, whether or not the president should have admitted that publicly in a TV interview is, I think, another matter. He could have certainly pointed to any number of reasons why he decided to bow out of the race. The fact that he's pointing the blame at some of those Democratic leaders, I think, shows that he probably thinks that he, deep down, could have won re-election. After all, he is the one person who's defeated Donald Trump in the past.
Well, you know, Biden was not the only one talking to the press this week, and Republican vice presidential nominee J.
Okay, this is the card that any person play. It can be politics or not. When they reflect their bad, they should come to somebody else, which is kind of ironic because we all have a failure, and we already know Biden is the age that he's not supposed to run. He's the age that's supposed to retire, and an old age and enjoy his life until he left. Um, but the point of the matter is, why they pressure him to do those? Because what happened is he was the biggest popular from the Democrat Party, and also he had nothing to lose, and they pay him a lot of money for whatever he was doing. So of course he's gonna be able to be part of it because if he finishes his turn, that's a good thing because gonna collect all the money. If he doesn't finish his turn, so basically they have backup plan where they can keep going for Kamala for as a female black voters, which is kind of sad at one point because what happened is now we found them limina that were they aware of his health condition? Of course they were. How long they were planning to put every to keep American aside and then not tell them what the truth until the election happened. But now everything's out the window, so everyone, the genie is out the land or the bag. So basically, there's no way out. There's no turning back. That's what Biden prayed that he was pressured. And another way he kind of, I was gonna say, I'm just speculating. I don't know anything for sure. Another way say I was bought out by the Democrat. Since I was bought out, they were the one calling the shot, they were the one calling the deal, and I got nothing to say because I was just a puppet. Follow my puppet, follow my master, whatever they're doing. So that's why I say it was a pressure. But we all know he wasn't pressure. He was most likely bought, and that's what politics is. They try to blame anyone but themselves.
Vance making the rounds on major news networks as well on Sunday. And Vance actually took an aggressive stance against the Harris-Walz ticket, calling them out for the tactic of characterizing him and Trump as quote unquote weird. And he also called out the vice president, saying she's a chameleon when it comes to her policies. Let's listen to this.
But I think that it drives home how they're trying to distract from their own policy failures. I mean, look, this is fundamentally schoolyard bully stuff, but I believe importantly that President Trump is right that she's a chameleon. She pretends to be one thing in front of one audience. She pretends to be something different in front of another audience. Look, Dana, she's not running a political campaign. She's running a movie.
Now, Robin, we know.
So like I said, he just paid actors. So whoever paid them, tell them what they say, and next thing you know, they're going to deliver. And the best delivery gonna make the best outcome. It has nothing to do with serving America, the middle class. It has nothing to do with anything. All they have to do is talk about their feeling. It's what the puppet tell them to do, and that they're gonna say. They cannot think for themselves. They are bought out. When you're an actor, they pay you to act, and whatever position scene you have to play, you gotta sell the scene. And that's the job that Kamala is doing right now, trying to sell that she is in good mind position to lead the country. but we're not buying it because we know for her record, she got a bad reputation on the black community. She got a bad reputation for her leadership with the border. And next thing you know, she's just like bad reputation according to her race. So basically, she lied about her race, and then we wonder what else she gonna lie about. So that's why they say is a comedian is a comedian. So basically, I understand the idea, but at the end of the day, people has to vote with their feet because no matter what you say about Kamala, if you don't vote with your feet, if you want Kamala, sir, hey, America is there's no point of return. If you vote with Trump, maybe we got some bridges that's gonna be trying to build up and then probably gonna have a little light a little bit. But at one point in time, America is really deep in the hole, and right now we're looking for something to grab so we can pull ourselves out. And then if you vote for Democrat and Kamala for the November, well, we're not gonna find that out that light. But if you vote for Trump, maybe there's a glimpse of light because there's when you go to Kamala website, there's no hints of what they're gonna say. What's the future? There's a plan. They just talk about action or so on and so forth. And I totally agree with Vince
The
on that.
Trump campaign at the rallies over this weekend, they focused mostly on policy. Does this frustration we heard from J.D. Vance stem from the Harris campaign avoiding policy, even flip-flopping on some of their policy stances?
Make no mistake, she has flip-flopped on things like fracking, and I think we're actually for the better. I always admire any politician who evolves in their policies, and it's something that that is more palatable and better for the American populace. So yeah, it's fair to call her a flip-flopper, but in this case, I think it's for the best. But yeah, sure. The campaign website still doesn't have many policies up there, but if you listen to a rally, she is very heavy on policy during her rallies.
Yeah, one policy position Kamala Harris is talking about sounds oddly familiar. Let's take a listen to this.
And it is my promise to everyone here, when I am president, we will continue our fight for working families of America, including to raise the minimum wage and eliminate taxes on tips for service and hospitality workers.
Okay, now that statement right.
So basically, this is the thing. He just repeating what Trump said. So if they wanted, how many law they put, emergency, state of emergency they put for the country? How many they do? A lot. So how many they go with the taxes? None for the tips. They're not gonna do it. It's just empty promises. If they want it, they would have done it a long time ago. It's just playing by the books. They're trying to take the opponent from the other team and then put on the notebooks and say they say it too. And next thing you know, we're on the same level and people are confusing. This is the part. They're not gonna do that. Remember when Biden says he's gonna cancel the payout the student loan? Still today, nothing matter. He doesn't care about American people. He all caring about is war and the Ukraine. That's the most focus on. That's why I say all those $1 billion or $1 trillion go to Ukraine and not for the American people. And one note, you see, also they're trying to buy American votes, especially for the single mother. They're gonna try now to send out $150 to every child inside the room. For example, if you got 2 kids, you get $300. If you got 1 kid, you got $150 because they're trying to buy out the vote. If you found your letter on the mail, be careful because this is your money, it's your money. But they remember they give you $100, 150 for kids. They put 13K for the immigrant right here. So you deserve $100, but the people that still go 110 times that. Is it worth it? I don't know. If it's normal, I don't know. You gotta make a judge of that. And on top of that, he said that he's gonna make American life better. She never gonna plan to make Americans life better because remember, on her leadership, inflation skyrocketing, everything skyrocketing, food prices skyrocketing, everything go to doom, and people are scraping. And you talk about increase the minimum wage. If you increase the minimum wage, what is gonna happen? Everything gonna skyrocket again because minimum wage is not gonna. The issue is about finding good job with funded the small business that's gonna boom the economy. Increase the minimum wage was gonna say the businesses gonna send people out. If they got 5 people, they pay $20 an hour, and then now they increase it for $25 an hour. So now guess what? the basis had to find $5 extra to pay for the five people. And guess what's gonna happen? They have to pay the taxes, they have to pay electricity bill, they have to pay all that. And then what's gonna happen? They're gonna cut one off, two people off, and then to make this profit happen. So this is what happened. Increase minimum age with no increase. I focus on the small business. You just adding more fuel to the fire. But when you increase the minimum age from $12 to $15, guess what happened? Everything skyrocket. Rent, food, everything, oil, all skyrocket. And then she's trying to same playbook because they don't care about you. They just want to destroy the middle class. And next thing you know, everyone gonna be living poverty and then paycheck to paycheck and then from scratch. This is what they're playing. Don't fall for it. We fall for it again, over and over again.
Right there, a lot of people are talking about that. The no taxes on tips, a campaign vow that former President Trump actually made earlier this summer in June. So, Robert, this move would take congressional approval no matter who is in the White House. How likely is a policy like this to pass? And is the fact that both parties are agreeing on this singular point, is that a good thing?
Well, there is a bipartisan proposal in Congress, both the Senate and the House. And so there is a likely chance that it could move forward. Obviously, you know how difficult it is to get anything through Congress these days. But generally, anytime you're lowering taxes, I mean, it's good policy. I'm not surprised to see Vice President Harris take this position. She and Donald Trump are competing over the same handful of states that are battlegrounds that will